Hey everyone, Dan Mortimer with eXp Realty, and I'm coming here to you guys for the latest weekly market update. This is for Henderson and Las Vegas. This is data for the week up to December 16th of 2024. It's a new week. We're coming up on the end of the year. You'll notice that my setup is a little bit different today than it is, most weeks. I'm either in my home office or I'm in my branch office in Henderson. Today I'm actually in Mexico on a little trip, enjoying some time before the holidays. And so, but I'm not going to let that stop me from putting out valuable content, trying to help those that are interested in the Henderson and Las Vegas real estate market. So I'm bringing you the latest and greatest numbers from Mexico. And but let's dive into the data, because I think we're seeing a very interesting trend that will be of note for both buyers and property owners as well. So let's get into the data. First and foremost, I don't have my usual setup where I've got my data on my screen that I can read off of. I've going the old school route here. I've got the numbers written down. So starting with the new listings, there were 449 new homes listed on the market in the last 7 days. There were 94 properties that went back on the market, so they had a deal in place. Deal fell apart. Property went back on the MLS active, so 94 of those. We had 423 listings that had a price drop of some kind. It doesn't matter the amount, it just shows the data in the MLS that was a price drop. So 423 homes had price drops. We had 185 properties go into under contract show status, and another 292 that went into under contract no show status. So in total, you're talking about 477, if my math is correct, 477 under contract, 449 new. We'll talk about that in a sec. 404 properties that sold, so deal closed out, property was settled, keys were exchanged, money was exchanged, all that. 404 in the last week. And then another 33 that went into coming soon status, meaning it was put onto the MLS, not fully active on the market, but should be active in the next 30 days or less. So another 33 of those. As far as active inventory goes, we're looking at 5,692 single family homes available, 1,194 condos, and 775 townhomes. So I think the biggest thing that I want to accentuate as we look at this data is there's a trend that I've been talking about for a long time. And for a little while there, especially in the fall when it was very slow, historically slow. And I mentioned before that we are looking at the number of closed transactions for the entire country is going to be likely around or even a little bit below the number of closed sales that we saw in 2008. Now, the difference between now and 2008 is where prices are around all-time highs, whereas in 2008, values were down. Homes were basically like homes were 50% off. Whereas now, people don't have shady loans on their homes. People have equity. They're sitting on equity. They're, unless they're in a situation where they need to move, they haven't moved because interest rates have been high, prices have been high, and it hasn't been a great environment for buyers or sellers to try to make a move. But it's interesting to see, and each week is going to be different. The numbers are going to shift week by week. But it's interesting to see that we had more properties go under contract than we had new listings this week. Not by a huge amount, but by about, what is that, like 25, 30 homes. So we are seeing buyers come into the market. I know a couple of loan officers that I've talked to have said this is the longest gap in the time that a buyer gets their pre-approval, pre-qualification, all that stuff done, to the time that they actually go under contract on the home. This is the largest gap that most loan officers that I work with that have been in the business for a heck of a lot longer than I have, is the biggest gap that they've ever seen. We're seeing a lot of buyers that maybe test the waters, they start, and they just haven't found the right home, the right environment to buy in, the right price, and now they're starting to pull the trigger. But it's very interesting to see this trend. And again, I'm not trying to say that tomorrow the housing market's just going to be flooded and it's going to be hardcore sellers market, but I do think it accentuates the point that I brought up in the past, that this is a unique window of opportunity for home buyers, especially if you're in that price range where you're probably $650,000 or less. This is the best opportunity that we've seen in a long time, because We've had iBuyers, hedge funds buying up homes with cash. We've had out-of-state buyers coming from California and other markets that are either paying cash for homes, or they're putting 50-60% down, and they just don't care as much about appraisals. They don't care about as much about rates. They're willing to be more flexible because the prices of these homes are so much more attractive than the market that they're leaving. So it's creating that market that I expected, that we're going to see the demand from buyers really pick up. I think especially after the beginning of the year into the early spring, and then obviously summer, kind of end of February, beginning of March through the end of August into September. That's kind of the peak buying season anyway. So I do expect that buyers will continue to come into the market more and more. We'll see if the inventory keeps up with that, and we'll see if we see this market continue to shift. But if you're a buyer that's thinking about buying, and I've mentioned it before, this is really a good time to do so. Getting into something with a decent interest rate, and being able to get in while the price is low and the seller's willing to be flexible on terms. You don't have competition compared to what it may be in the spring, where we see multiple offers, buyers waiving contingencies, and just doing crazy stuff that we don't recommend as real estate professionals, but people are doing it to get into their home because there's just too much competition. One thing that I also want to accentuate before I wrap up this update, I think the other big opportunity, especially for buyers, and it's part of the reason why I've been doing walkthroughs on these properties, is new construction homes. Right now, home builders are offering massive incentives. I've seen a lot of them offering $20,000 incentives, rate buy downs, helping with your closing costs, appliance packages included. And for a lot of these, the prices are very attractive. They're either at or maybe even below what we see with a lot of the existing inventory, but they're brand new homes. A lot of them are in great areas. I know just in Henderson, there's a ton of them in Inspirata, for example, out in Cadence. There are some big communities out in Southeast Henderson as well, just kind of talking Henderson specific, Black Mountain area, even kind of down towards like Wagon Wheel and Nevada State Drive, Boulder Highway around there, where there's a ton of development going on, lots of new communities. So if you're thinking about buying, but maybe you're not ready to go quite yet, new construction homes are great because of the incentives that you get. But if you're in a situation where you have maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 months before you need to move, a new construction home is a great opportunity because you can customize it as much as possible depending on the builder, but you also have that time where you've locked in that price, and as the community gets built out more and more, the prices of those homes go up. So you're basically, in addition to all the incentives that you're getting, appliance packages, rate buy downs, maybe a discount on price, helping with closing costs or covering all your closing costs depending on what the numbers are, you have an opportunity to basically walk into your home on closing day with however much equity. It could be $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. I've seen some that are as much as $50,000, $60,000 depending on how the market is when you close. But to me, new construction homes are such a big opportunity, especially for first-time home buyers. If you've got a lease coming up, you've got time, you're going to be getting into a home. In most cases, you're not having to do multiple counter offers with builders, unless we see a absolutely crazy chaotic market like we did in 2021. So it's a good opportunity for buyers to get into a home on their schedule, get a great price, get the incentives, not feel like they have to haggle their way to a deal like you do on a resale home. So little tidbit of value for you there in addition to the market data. I hope you guys have found some value from this. Hope it was worth taking some time out of my trip to give this to you. But really and truly, I just want to keep you informed about what's going on in our market and some things to look out for, and some opportunities for you as well. So if you got some value from this video, 2 things that you can do to support this channel. First and foremost, the easiest way is to like my videos, subscribe to my channel. Think of it as like following me on another social platform like Instagram or Facebook. There's no cost to do so. I'm not gonna sneak up on you or anything like that, or charge you or anything down the road. It's completely free. It's just YouTube's way of following somebody. They say subscribe, so you get notified when I post new videos on the channel, and like I said, you can access all my playlists and things like that. So please be sure to like my videos and subscribe to my channel. But the other way that you can support me is if you are thinking about buying or selling, I want to be of even more value to you. So I'll put a link in the description of this video so that you can set up a one-on-one consultation with me. There's no cost, there's no obligation. You don't have to buy, you don't have to sell. You don't have to do it with me if you do decide to do so. It's just an opportunity for me to get to know you a little bit better, learn about your situation, and put a game plan in place for you to achieve your real estate goals. So those are the two ways that you can support this channel. Again, I really hope that you guys got some great value from this. I appreciate your time. I know these videos are a little bit lengthy, but I want to try to cram in as much knowledge and information as I can to be as much value, be of as much value as possible to this great community. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and we will see you at the next one.